Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I'm going to continue on doing a little bit more digging of our massive great big slime farm that we're making over here, whilst I answer today's questions. Now, before I start, I did say last week that the questions seem to be a lot thinner on the ground now than they were when I started this series. This is episode 10, is it? No? Yes, actually this is. It's episode 10. So, because this is episode 10 and things are starting to really slim down in the way of questions, I'm starting to think that a lot of the questions that people have had have now been answered. And so in order to sort of keep things fresh and so on, I'm not going to do this series anymore for now. I was thinking maybe doing it once a month, but I'm actually thinking that I will stop this series, and then maybe next year we will come back and we will do it again for one episode per week for a little while until people sort of run out of questions once more. So yes, that being said, I'm going to have a weekly question this week, is what would you like me to replace this with? I have enough time to continue to do a video in place of this one, and so I'm going to give you some games. Now, I've been thinking very carefully about this, what sort of games I should do, what I should play in place of doing this series, and I'm not going to do any simulator games. I was thinking maybe I could offer the chance for more like random games. You know, I do the random game every Thursday. It's just a random game, and then I ask you a question, which one would you like me to play the following week? I'm going to keep that on one because, I mean, I like the idea of playing random games and randomly going through a different game each week, but at the same time I would like to be able to get stuck into another game, so it'll be a non-simulator game, and so we may continue on with something that we're already doing, or we could start something new. So I'm going to give you a question this week. Which game would you like me to do? I'm giving you three options. I could either do a second episode each week of World of Warcraft. Now, I know that that is probably the least popular series on the channel at the moment, but that being said, there are still people who are really enjoying it, and I feel that if I'm doing an extra episode of that one per week, it will move things along quite nicely. So I could do an extra episode of World of Warcraft so that we have Fridays and Saturdays World of Warcraft episodes. I could start a series on Skyrim. There were quite a few people that wanted me to do a series on Skyrim to start with, so I could go and do that series on Skyrim that I did talk about way back when I was originally planning to, well, when I was talking about starting a new series. Or I could play the new game that has just come out, Destiny 2. Now, that one has not been out for very long, and I've taken a look at it and looked at the suggested ratings on it on some kids' websites and stuff. There is no adult themes, there is no drugs, there is no smoking, anything like that. So as far as that goes, it's definitely suitable for children. It is a first-person shooter game, but most importantly, there is no gore. There is no blood and unpleasantness when someone gets shot. They just keel over. And as far as I'm concerned, that makes it, as far as I'm concerned, that makes it perfectly suitable for children. I'm actually quite happy for my children to see blood in some games like Skyrim, something like that, because it's kind of, I mean, it's a realistic effect, and even the youngest of children know that there's blood inside a person. So it's not something that's unusual, and that's why I feel that Skyrim would also be acceptable on this channel. So Destiny 2 is a first-person futuristic shooter game. It does look very good. The early reviews coming in are saying that whereas Destiny 1 had some issues, this one is a very, very solid foundation for a game that is kind of paving the way for expansions, DLCs, updates, all the sort of everything that you could want for it. It is really well made. It's a solid campaign. It's all connected together. There's no sort of randomness that you experienced in the first game. I never played the first game. But from what I'm seeing, it does look like it would be really good and really entertaining. So I've added that one in. I was originally just going to let you choose between a second Warcraft episode each week and Skyrim, but I'm decided now that I will add in the choice for Destiny 2. So I will start another series, or expand on the series for Friday. So I will either do an additional World of Warcraft episode per week, so we have it on a Friday and a Saturday, or I will do a Skyrim episode. I will start a new character and we'll do a new playthrough, perhaps trying to play as a ranger so that we focus on bows and things like that, but we can sort of work on that after the first episode. We can take a look at different potential play styles that I would want to do and I would enjoy doing, and I can give you some options on it. Or I can try Destiny 2. I've never played Destiny. I don't generally play first-person shooters either, so I've no idea what this would be like. It could be an interesting experience, certainly, to watch me sort of try to muddle my way through a type of game that I never played before. But on the other hand, you might find such an experience rather painful to watch, because I know that some people sort of enjoy watching an inexperienced player try something, but at the same time, those of you who are experienced with those sorts of games, you might not find it particularly entertaining to watch me sort of muddle my way through something that I really don't know anything about, and that is going to sort of detract from your viewing pleasure. So yeah, it's your vote, it's your game. Head in the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. To replace this Q&A video each week, do you want me to play a second World of Warcraft episode? Do you want me to play a Skyrim episode, or do you want me to play a new Destiny 2 episode? Yeah, I'm interested to see what you have to say on that one. Let's just make another chest here a minute. 2 chests, actually, so we have a double chest. And put those up there like that. Right. Stick this one to the wall. You can't go... Well, you never used to be able to go directly above. Oh, yes, you can. And it still opens. Okay, we can do that. Let's put all of those in there, and... yeah, we'll put the dirt and the granite and stuff like that in there as well. Gravel. We keep the chicken. We keep the cooked mutton. I'm keeping the glass because I want to. Coal could actually go up there. We're nearly out of diamonds anyway, so unless we find some diamonds down here, we're going to need some more. Right, that being said, we need to move on with the actual questions that we do have. We do not have very many questions, which is the other reason that I'm thinking it is definitely time to move forward, because there is hardly any questions here this week. Mostly it's observations on things I did last week. Let's just run up through here and grab all of this lot before I get started on the actual questions. I'm going to go up this side and start from here and start moving through here, and we'll go through our usual drop down 2 blocks. If I can just time set day, there we go. Right, Ivan0902 on Gorilla, when you had more money, buy medium machines like the John Deere's and Fence, and yes, that is kind of the plan. We're upgrading a bit on Gorilla now, and we're planning to upgrade much more seriously in the spring. We're going to do a lot more upgrading in the spring, and it's going to basically result in 2 separate styles of gameplay for that one. We're keeping it realistic, but at the same time we want... because we've been doing old machinery and second-hand stuff and things like that, we're going to be moving towards new machinery, bigger scale, so we're going to join the fields together, make it all bigger, and so you can experience the 2 styles of farming side by side on the same map. Frickinator Hole, thanks, I understand about the time-lapse thing. You asked me a question last week about the time-lapses, so that was just... for the explanation. Patrio Gracemark, have you considered swapping the glass roof on the chicken cooker for trapdoors? I did, but to be honest, once you get a set amount of chickens in those chicken cookers, I don't think I'll be going over to the chicken cooker this week. We're just going to sort of wander around here and just dig out a few more. We'll answer these questions. To be honest, with the chicken cooker, once you get the chickens in there that you want, you don't ever open it up again, which is why I was having glass on there. And I think we've reached the quantity of chickens in that thing that I want. I might do it just once more, and I get so much glass here, I've got sand mines all over the place, that it's not really an issue. Trapdoors, on the other hand, they can sometimes have animals bug through them, which is one reason why I'd want to kind of avoid using them if I could. So yeah, that's why I've not done that. If you get a Vive VR headset, maybe do a Google Earth tour of places you've been with stories of those places, or visit people's suggested places to capture reactions or impressions. That would actually be pretty cool. If I do get a Vive, using it on Google Earth and sort of like right down onto the street view and going to see different places around the world, or showing you places I've been, that is a really cool suggestion. I really actually like that one. So maybe if I am ever I'd say ever, I will at some point get a VR headset. There's no doubt about that, because gaming is moving that way. I'm a gamer through and through. It is in my blood. So I will definitely at some point be getting a VR headset. I just don't know when it will be. So it's not going to be this year, but quite possibly early next year I might be getting one. Then it depends how the games are moving forward, because obviously Skyrim is moving to VR very soon. It's coming around Christmas time, so I may, just after Christmas, be in a position where I'm going to get myself a VR headset so that I can experience Skyrim in full virtual reality. That would just be awesome. But yeah, the whole Google Earth thing on VR, I like that idea. That is a really good idea. And my question for this week is, do you know a language other than English? Does bad English count? That is about it. That's about all I can do. I can do English and I can do bad English, and I don't know any other language. I studied French in school. I was never very good at it. I did start learning Polish because I've worked with quite a lot of Polish people and have Polish friends and neighbors, and so I did start actually learning to speak Polish at one point, but I didn't get very far with it. Purely because of the time it takes to learn a new language, and I didn't have time to put to it properly. So yeah, that kind of fell by the wayside. And yeah, that's about it really. So no, I don't speak any other languages other than English, even though at different times I have thought that it would be nice to take the time to learn, but unfortunately I haven't yet actually had the time to learn them properly. So no, it's not yet, but it's kind of it's one of those one day I'd like to things. Yeah. Right. Jeff2146, are you going to play Total Warhammer to satisfy your thirst for Warhammer fantasy? This is a guy that has been talking to me for a couple of weeks now about various different Warhammer-related things and the backstory and so on for Warhammer 40k and how it's progressed. I might at some point play Total War, but I don't have plans to at the moment because my gaming schedule is rather full, as you can appreciate, because of the number of videos that I do each week. And I don't generally have time for a lot of new games. I might try to find a way to include it somewhere in my gaming schedule. I do get a little bit of personal gaming time as well in my busy weeks. So maybe. But I mean, at the moment, I've gone back to Warcraft and I'm working through the Legion expansion. So until I finish the Legion expansion, I probably won't be playing many other new games, because there's a lot of stuff in Legion that I'm really, really enjoying, and so I don't really want to sort of move on to anything new just yet. Right, is Sepulus. Top 5 your movies do you like? My top 5 movies. Do you like F1? If you can't play Forza Horizon 3, maybe you could play Project Cars. Very cool racing simulator and similar to Forza Horizons. Yeah, so still having these issues. I can't get Forza Horizons to recognize my steering wheel, and I've no idea why. Forums don't seem to be particularly helpful, as not a lot of people seem to be experiencing the same thing that I am. So yeah, there's something there somewhere. I've got some sort of software that I've got on my computer that is obviously conflicting with the game. It might be that I just need to do a clean install of the steering wheel, the game, and the rest of it. But at the moment, I don't actually have time to sort of work through that. If you start working on something like that, it can sometimes take hours and hours and hours to find the actual root cause of the problem. And at the moment, I've spent a lot of money on the game. The game's expensive, and it is annoying that I've spent all this money and I can't actually do anything with it, but it's not a pressing enough problem that I can devote the amount of time needed to really get to the bottom of it and find a proper cure. So At the moment, it's kind of, unfortunately, it's on temporary hold until I can find a couple of hours from somewhere in order to sit down and really start to work my way through it. But you really got to allow 3 or 4 hours for something like that because of the amount of stuff that you might have to uninstall, reinstall for drivers and updates and everything else. And so, yeah, it could get problematic. I will just keep doing it just in case. I will test it every couple of weeks just to see if it's maybe like a new update with a graphics driver or something like that has caused it to come through, or if there's an update released for Forza that has maybe patched in something. I don't actually have time at the moment to work through anything like that, unfortunately. So, no, I won't be playing Forza in the near future. At the moment, I also don't have plans for any other racing games. I might, because I do enjoy being able to kick back with a racing game occasionally. So if I really do decide that I want to play a racing game and I absolutely cannot get Forza Horizons to work, then I may go and try another one. But no plans at present. But I mean, the F1 thing, it does interest me a bit, but not as much as trying to get Forza to work. The reason I picked Forza is because it is the game out there on the PC that is most similar to Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is something I spent a lot of hours playing when I was at uni, and I've also at times spent quite a few hours playing it since. I do have an old PS2 that I've played it on, and there's something very appealing about Gran Turismo, and it's one of life's greatest disappointments as far as I'm concerned, that you cannot play Gran Turismo on the PC. It's just one of those big things that has always disappointed me, and I would like to be able to. If I could play that one, I would play that one. I would not be playing Forza Horizons if I could get Gran Turismo. But unfortunately I can't. So yeah, that's kind of the situation with that at the moment. So no plans at present, but maybe in the future. Oh, my top 5 movies. That's so tough. My top 5 movies change nearly every day. Seriously, they do. They're my top 5 movies. They change almost every day. I would say that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is definitely in my top 5. I will count that as a film. They're definitely in my top 5. And the Hobbit films are also good, but they don't grab me in the way that the Lord of the Rings films did. And I don't know why. It's all the same universe, the same kind of characters and everything, but it's just... There's something about Lord of the Rings itself compared to The Hobbit that it is just that much better. And I appreciate the humour that is added into The Hobbit, because The Hobbit is actually, it was a child's book, whereas Lord of the Rings was an adult's book. Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings as an adult's book, and he wrote The Hobbit as a child's book. And it is supposed to be humorous, but at the same time, it's... it just doesn't appeal to me as much as the other one does, as Lord of the Rings. There's just something about Lord of the Rings that I genuinely love. Some of the epic battles and things like that is just amazing. It's just absolutely incredible. And so, yeah, I would definitely say that Lord of the Rings is up there. Gladiator is another one, the Russell Crowe film, Gladiator. I absolutely love that film. It's such a powerful, powerful film. The first time I seen that... I was literally left speechless. I seen it. It wasn't actually in a cinema. It was at university, and we used to have a public showing of some films every so often, and we did a public showing of Gladiator. Normally, when people file out after a public showing of one of the films, everybody would laughing and talking, and you go off together to do whatever you're going to do with your friends. After that one, it was just complete and total silence from everyone, and I've never encountered that before after a film. Just complete, total 100% silence. There was not a word spoken by anyone as we filed out, and I didn't want to speak to anyone. I was just it was such an amazingly powerful film. It affected me so much. I did not speak to anybody for the rest of the night. I went back to my my student digs, and I stopped right there. I didn't go anywhere, and I just lay on my bed and I thought about the film. I've never, very rare. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other films that has had such an effect on me, but yeah, it was just phenomenal. Very few films have ever affected me like that sort of deeply, that kind of deep impact. So yes, definitely that one. Last of the Mohicans is another one that is absolutely fantastic. It's getting quite old now. I remember seeing that when I was a lot younger. So there's 3 films. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. It's, yeah, it really does change. I mean, I like films like Hitman and things like that. It depends. It really does depend on my mood. If I'm in the mood for it, I like to watch a really violent shooting film like John Wick, Hitman, something like that. Not a lot of story to it, and a lot of people die fairly quickly. That may seem a bit unpleasant to some of you, and some of you may well identify with that. It's just times when you don't want to sit down and get involved with a really deep story. You just want to see some action. That's what it's about. You want to see some quick, hard, fast action, and just sort of kick back with it and let it wash over you. Because I find it almost therapeutic. If you're feeling pent up about something, if something's really bugging you, I find that watching a violent film does my venting for me, so I don't have to behave in an unpleasant way towards anyone at all. It's watching the film is the way that I vent, and it works. It's very, very effective for me. I mean, obviously everybody else is different, but that is my personal preference. I will go and do that if I need to. Tell you what, we're going to go and we're going to get some diamond ore. I'm sure I've got a load of iron bars here. Oh no, I've got an iron pick there. We'll use that one. Right, let's wander over this way. So yes, that is. Try desperately to think of another film that I really, really, really like. Waterworld, it's quite an old film now actually. With Kevin Costner. Waterworld is basically all the ice caps have melted, land has disappeared, and you've got this guy who's actually he's got gills, and so he can breathe underwater. And everything is it's a post-apocalyptic world, but it's only sort of is boats and on water and only things that can float and things like that. It's actually quite cleverly done. It's definitely not to everybody's taste. It was poorly received by the critics and in the cinema and so on, but generally speaking, Waterworld is a film that I used to watch a lot more than I do now. I haven't actually watched that film for quite some time, yet I've watched it so much several years ago, especially when I was at uni. I particularly enjoyed watching that film at uni, and I watched it so much that I can now actually still recite almost the entire film off by heart, and memorize almost the entire film. That's how much I watched it and how much I enjoyed watching it. Right, we've got a whole load of lava kicking around here, which is not really a good thing because I don't want lava. I'm after diamond ore, actually. Believe it or not, this is what I've come down here for, is some diamond ore. Now I can go up here. There was a big lava pool up here. Right, we do have some diamond here, a little bit. So if we get that, go there. Right. That's some diamond ore. You can hear the lava underneath us. There's loads of it. So we want to just be a little bit careful while we're digging around here. Let's put some more torches down. And hopefully we don't have any lava drip down onto our heads. I've populated this map with loads of extra resources all over the place, so I'm not too concerned if we do lose a few diamonds. I only want a few picks. And you can see from the size of the diamond ore vein that we've got here that I really do have masses and masses of resources everywhere on this particular map. You can change all the settings. When you first develop a map, you can change all the settings. And I like to do this. I keep everything on sort of standard settings, except for things like ore and that. It doesn't, to me, it's not really cheating, because you're not, when you're playing through by yourself, it's not like when you play with friends, you've got loads of people to help you find loads and loads of different resources that you need as you play through the game. Whereas you playing on your own, rather than spending 2 hours trying to find everything, you don't need to spend 2 hours trying to find everything. You can go and spend 10 minutes trying to find your stuff, and then you can go back to doing your building, which does speed things up quite a bit, and it makes the whole gameplay thing a lot more enjoyable. I mean, we've got 14 diamonds now. That's more than enough. I can make a few pickaxes with that, and anything else that I want. So we have dug all the way down through here. The only ones I'm leaving are the emeralds. I haven't changed emeralds at all. They are still on the standard settings. So I've got one emerald there, I got one there, and I got one down that end, and I haven't altered those yet. I'm waiting until I've built myself a enchanting table and I get a proper pickaxe enchanted to get the maximum amount out of them. But I'm not too worried about that, so I probably won't be playing this map for quite a while now, as this is the last episode, and I'm currently playing... Right, excuse me a minute, I've just got to go and have a drink. Right, that's a little bit better. Yes, at the moment, yeah, I do a bit of gaming with my sons on a regular basis, and at the moment we've been playing World of Warcraft, and we've also broken out the old Nintendo 64 that I've got, and we've been playing a few games on that one lately. So we've been doing a bit of Mario and a bit of GoldenEye and stuff like that. It's been great fun. It's absolutely great fun. I haven't played GoldenEye for ages, and it's good to get back into it. It really is. So... yeah, that's why we're doing that. But anyway, that was my top 5 movies. Well, my top 4 movies. I really genuinely couldn't name another one because my tastes, like I say, it changes so much. I genuinely struggle to name another one. I really would. Right, let's put that pickaxe in there because we're not going to need it for a while, and we want some sticks. Have we got any sticks here anywhere? None in there. No, none in there. Right, so we'll do it with one of those like that, so that makes 4 sticks. So then we go like that, and we go 1 and 2, so that'll give us 2 pickaxes like that. 2 pickaxes will do for now. Right, let's go. We can go back over to the slime farm and do some more digging out of that one while we finish up. Right, let's move on to another question. Darker is the one who asked permission for making the time lapses. Yes, I remember. He was asking last week if I would, when I reach my 1 million subscribers, would I remember all of the people who've been with me from the start? And yes, I will. I will remember you, and I will do my best to support people. And I don't always remember the people who've contacted me. I don't always remember what people have contacted me about, but I do remember the people who are active on the channel. Although I would like to reach 1 million subscribers. I'm confident that we can get to 100,000 subscribers, but the million seems like it's a long way away. Put it that way. It's a very, very long time before we would ever get to 1 million subscribers. It just is such an it's an obscene number. 1 million subscribers. That's 1 million people that want to watch my videos on a regular basis. It's just a phenomenal target. So yeah, let's concentrate on the smaller stuff for now. 100,000 people. 100,000. I'm at like 42,500 subscribers now, which is a phenomenal amount of people who are watching my videos on a regular basis. I'm still sort of absolutely staggered that many people would watch me on a regular basis. So it's yeah, it never ceases to amaze me when I see the subscriber count going up like it does. It's just incredible. So yeah, I do remember you. I do remember different people when they comment on a regular basis. I recognize you, and I do pay attention to all of your comments. Mr. Teese, are you going to play the West Coast when it comes out? Right, I'm not planning to do a Let's Play on West Coast at the moment. But several people have started to say that they don't really want me to do my next time-lapse on Sandy Bay. Now, I've been talking about doing Sandy Bay for ages. It was a map that I really liked in FS15, and I always regretted not being able to do a time-lapse series on it. And I've been saying for a while I'd like to do a time-lapse series on Sandy Bay. But several people have said that they don't really want me to do Sandy Bay. They'd like me to do something different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few suggestions that I've had, and I'm going to do a vote. Several people have been asking for a vote for the next time-lapse. So when I get towards the end of this time-lapse series, I will do a vote. And from what I've seen of the West Coast map, it looks absolutely amazing. So that will probably be included in the vote, almost certainly. And at the moment, the potentials for a vote for my next map, well, Sandy Bay will obviously be included. Probably West Coast will be included, and maybe the DLC one, but I'm not quite sure. But I mean, just bear in mind that we're only on episode 18 of the current time-lapse series on Dowland Farm, and I fully intend to do a full series on that one, which will run to approximately 44 episodes. It will run to exactly 44 if I can get it, because I've done a couple of them now that finished on 44, so that's kind of become my unofficial target of getting 44 episodes. So I will try to do 44, which means that you've got another 24 episodes to go, which is 12 weeks. So that's 3 months yet. We're going to be at Christmas before we need to worry about what new time-lapse we're going to be doing. So there's no rush on it at the moment. We will wait and see, and then I will see what sort of maps are around at the time. Sandy Bay will be included, and probably West Coast will be an option, and then after that we'll see. I'll add in any other popular ones at the time, and we'll take it from there. Matt Trains, as you've been a farmer, what is your opinion on how farming affects and interacts with people and the natural environment? Good question. Very good question, sir. Basically, I've seen farmers who obviously do not give two hoots about the environment. They absolutely could not care less about their impact on anything whatsoever other than their own pocketbooks. I've also seen farmers who will gladly take a hit to their own finances in order to protect the animals and the environment around them. There are as many types of farmers and sort of environmentalist farmers as there are in any other type of in any other walk of life. You get farmers who absolutely could not care less and will do whatever it takes to make the money, and really don't care whatsoever about environmental impact or anything similar. And then, yeah, so my opinion of those farmers is pretty low. I don't think that farmers should be trying to destroy the environment just because they can make a few extra pennies. I think that a farmer has a responsibility to the land around him to maintain and look after that land. I personally believe that farmers have a responsibility to do that. I don't think that they should be avoiding that responsibility just because they want to make a few extra bucks here and there, a few extra quid, whichever country you're in. I think that is an appalling thing to do, to go and sort of sacrifice everything just for some extra cash. I don't agree with that kind of process, and it's not something I would ever support. But yeah, so it's a difficult one. I don't like the idea of using loads and loads of sprays, and I live in a country where spraying for every type of disease and pest and weed and problem is a very, very common practice to do. It's common throughout Europe, and personally I don't like it. I understand the need for it. I do understand the need for it, because there is actually a need for it. You can talk about organic farming and so on, but quite frankly, a lot of the world does not have the space for organic farming because of the sheer quantity of extra acres that you need in order to generate the same amount of food. So there's a lot of the world that doesn't have the necessary space to do something as luxurious as organic farming. So it's something that's needed, but at the same time I don't necessarily have to like it. And that's kind of... That's the big thing with farming for me, is there's a lot of farming practices that are often needed that I don't like. And there's not a lot that I can do about that. I'm very much in favour of keeping the environment, environmentally friendly. I like the idea of being able to leave a planet for my children that they can bring up their own children on, instead of giving them a planet that is polluted beyond all use, just about, and they've then got to spend their lives using respirators. I don't really think that's a good idea. That's not a good way to go. So yeah, this is a difficult question to answer. There's sort of so many sort of sides to that question. But that's kind of my rough outline of it. Is I like the farmers that work with the land and do their best to keep the animals, not only the animals that they farm, but the animals around them, the animals that make up the natural environment as well, to keep them happy and healthy, as well as their own animals happy and healthy. And there is a balance. There is a balance that needs to be sought, and there is a balance that can be achieved. I've seen that balance achieved in so many different places. I know it can be. It's just that some people don't want to do it. They're not interested. They just after money. But that's just the way of the world. So there we go. Not a lot else I can say about that without sort of repeating myself or really going into depth. Ricky WookieRud24 Rutledge. Are you just trying to quarry or what? There is vanilla cobble generators you can make that are fairly simple. Yeah. I'm aware that there are vanilla cobble generators. I've made loads of cobble generators, some fully automated cobble generators as well. A fully automated one is very, very difficult to do, though. it requires a wither and all kinds of nasty things. But yeah. So yeah, I know that there are cobble generators. I'm not trying to get cobblestone or anything here. I'm trying to dig out this all the way down to the very bottom so that we have a slime farm. It's something that's going to take a while to do. Once I've dug out I'm just digging this sort of bit all the way around the edge, and then we're going to dig out every single block in the middle. That's something that's probably not going to happen for a while, though. Once we've dug this line all the way around, we'll probably give it a rest for a while. But yeah, this is going to be a slime farm. That's the idea of this, is I want to make a slime farm. So that I know this is a slime chunk. I've looked it up on a slime chunk generator website. And so once we get this all dug all the way down, we'll then be able to farm all the slimes that we need to make all the redstone contraptions that we could possibly want. Lucas Viborg, Farming Simulator. I'm pretty sure you started putting that on most of my videos. No, this isn't Farming Simulator. I can appreciate that you want Farming Simulator, but at the same time, putting that on every single video is not likely to make me make more Farming Simulator videos. It's likely to make me block you, because it does start to get a bit tedious. I'm sorry, that's very rude of me. But yeah, it's not a Farming Simulator video. And you can see that before you even open the video and bother to take the time to make a comment. You don't need to make comments like that. Time, set, day. Is that right? Yes, that's right. If you don't like the videos, by all means, move on and wait for the next one. I do Farming Simulator every day of the week. 7 days a week there will be Farming Simulator. So don't worry, you will get Farming Simulator. Even though these videos come out first, you still get your Farming Simulator videos. If I do more than one a day, they will start to get boring and everybody gets fed up with them. I run out of unique and original things to do. I struggle enough as it is to come up with new ideas. So yeah, I don't think you really want me making more Farming Simulator videos than I already do, because it's just going to start repeating itself far too much to be interesting. Right, Noah Holben, make a roller coaster. I probably will. If we do come back to doing the series later date, the whole questions and answers things, I'll come back to the Minecraft server, and yes, I will probably make a roller coaster, because I quite enjoy making roller coasters. It's quite simple, it's easy to do, and it's fun. You get a load of redstone. I mean, I've got some train tracks already laid out in all sorts of places, and it does work quite well. It would just be nice if we could... we just sort of need to add some redstone to it, really. Right, let's just take a look here. What layer are we on? Am I really on block 60? Good gravy. We're a long way up in the air. I wasn't expecting it to be that high. I was expecting us to have gotten down a lot further. Block 60, that means we've got... a good, like, 55 blocks to drop down before we finish. This is going to take a long time. I think we're going to walk back to our main base just while I wrap this up now, actually. Yeah, so Niels Blankenstein is the last question. Please play Elite Dangerous instead of the weekly Q&A. I agree. I think people don't really have any questions anymore, so once a month would be fine. I'm not going to do it once a month. I've thought about this, and I don't think that even once a month... I don't really want to do a once-a-month series, so we'll take a look at coming back and restarting this series sometime next year. But I think we've kind of run through all the questions that people have got. I really like the idea of doing this series. I've enjoyed doing this. It's nice to just sort of kick back and have a chat, find out what people want to know about me, that kind of stuff. But yeah, we will do it again. But it'll probably be after Christmas sometime. So yeah, you've got the weekly question now. Elite Dangerous. I've taken a look at it, and it does look interesting. It definitely looks interesting. I'd probably give it a go. I mean, like the new stuff that's coming out, but it also looks like something that could take quite a while to get established on. I'm not quite sure. I'll think about it for the future, but I'm not planning to play it just yet. At the moment, I'm giving you 3 options for a series that is going to replace this one on a Friday. We can either do a second episode of World of Warcraft, so you get 2 episodes of that each week. I can start a brand new series playthrough of Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and start a brand new character on that, and we'll just work our way through the entire game. Or I can start playing Destiny 2. The first-person shooter game that has just recently been released is already getting some good reviews, and I would say that it's definitely suitable for all ages. There is no gore, there are no adult themes, there's no drugs, no excessive violence. I mean, yes, obviously you're shooting people constantly throughout the entire game, but I mean, if you overlook that little bit, there's no excessive violence on it. No gore and stuff like that is kind of what I mean with no excessive violence. Yeah. So, what do you think? Which one would you like? It's your vote. It's your game. Head in the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And, of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. Now, we've got no chickens in here, but I suspect it's because this one's not actually loaded when we're all the way over there. I think this is outside of the spawn chunks. I thought I tried to change the spawn chunks, but maybe it didn't actually work. Spawn chunks will let things to keep going. So at the moment, yeah, I realise I'm flashing a cooked chicken at these things. There's probably there's something slightly morbid and twisted about holding a cooked chicken in front of a load of chickens. It just seems a little bit twisted. So anyway, yes, if you enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And I will see what you respond with, what game you'd like me to play next. And that will be what we do next week. So until then, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.